Welcome to episode 13 of Beyond the Plate with Chef Amrita Raichand and me, Hrishi K. You know something? I really did miss you, Amrita.
You finally said those golden words. Thank you, Rishi. I missed you too. But let me tell you that while I was away, I was literally surrounded by so many different kind of people that honestly, I missed you a little less.
Honestly, I don't even believe that you miss me. Guys, why would somebody who's come back from Espanyol, the land of Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz, miss somebody in Mumbai? Why? Why would somebody who's been to Mykonos in Greece miss somebody in Mumbai? Doesn't work that way. But listen, great trip, huh? Tell me about it.
Well, you of course are focusing on the sports part of it, but being the chef that I am, Spain is also the land of great food. And I was actually there for a food. I have to tell you, I think I mentioned this to you last time. I have had the good fortune of being a part of this incredible health app. And I'm the only Indian chef who has been given the mammoth task of making Indian food less intimidating to people all over the world. And in fact, to an extent where they can actually cook it at home. And I must tell you that even though I was actually faced with very few Indian ingredients, I managed to do this. So after my shoot in Spain, I went to Mykonos and then to Ibiza, and lots of Rahul's friends. All they wanted was an Indian meal cooked by me. And I was like, I want to eat your food. So we came to an arrangement that on the last day before I leave Ibiza, I'm going to cook an entire Indian meal. And they promised to get me Indian ingredients. Rishi, trust me, I had no ingredients. I had no pots and pans. I actually made mutton curry in a paella dish. I used, instead of Kashmiri red chilies, I was using Mexican red chilies. I was using Chinese spices. But all in all, yes, as a chef, I think it was one of the greater challenges that I was faced with. But the food was actually finger-licking good. So I've come
I can believe that. So basically Mexican herbs, Chinese spices, and instead of our ghee, you used olive oil.
Yes, I used olive oil. And believe it or not, the most important learning that I actually came back with is that Europeans crave paneer. Now, paneer, Rishi, is actually nothing but cheese. Europe being so popular for its cheese, they don't know about paneer, and they think paneer is Indian. And whenever they saw my face, even when I was shooting in Madrid, I had the good fortune of shooting with Dr. Grunemeyer, who's a German professor, author. When I asked him, what would you like me to make? He said, can you make something with paneer? So I made Matar Paneer for him in Madrid. Here, I made Paneer Shimla Mirch. I made paneer from whole milk. And it came out really nice. But I came back to do some research. As you know, I have this odd habit of, diving into the origin of ingredients. I was quite intrigued by the fact that how come, paneer is seen as a very Indian thing. Interestingly, it's not Indian. Did you know that?
Wow, I had no clue. I always thought it was completely 100% homegrown Indian, and the West is taking to it. So, if it's not Indian, then where did it originate from?
Well, I'll tell you that, but I will also tell you that it's very obvious that we think it's Indian because we are home to, such great amount of cattle. We've always had ghee, yogurt, all milk products used like the way we do. So obviously the natural, tendency is to believe that paneer is actually Indian. But my research brought out a lot of interesting points. The Oxford Companion to Cheese, the first truly comprehensive reference work dedicated to the exploration of cheese, which was edited by Catherine Donnelly and Matthew Keller, mentions a UN food report that claims paneer may have been introduced to northern India by Persian and Afghan traders in the 13th and 14th centuries. Wow. In fact, the word paneer, Rishi, comes from the Persian word paneer, which generically means cheese.
And the curdling of milk itself, how long has that been happening, Amrita? Do you have a ballpark number from history as far as that is concerned?
Yeah, so interestingly, historian K.T. Acharya's book, A Historical Dictionary of Indian Food, notes that the curdling of milk, which you just spoke about, actually started during, it has been well established during the Indus Valley Civilization, and we all know the dates of that, 2500 to 1500 BC, we're talking about those dates, back then. It was of course fermented with a variety of sour green leaves, barks and berries, and the loose milk curds, which is the early form of paneer. that actually were combined with yogurt and spices to make a lot of sweets as well.
There are also some theories that the Mughals, for example, introduced paneer to us. There is an alternative theory which obviously emanates out of Goa because the Portuguese ruled Goa for so many years. That the Portuguese, when they came and they annexed the territory of Goa, they introduced paneer to the land. So where do you stand on that?
Well, I'll stand with the Portuguese. Yes, of course, people believe that, it was the Mughals that brought it, but it's not true. If you go back and read some of the early Mughal books, you will see no mention of any paneer recipes. I must talk about Chitrita Banerjee. She is a popular historian of Indian cuisine, and she's written a book called Land of Milk and Honey, travels in the history of Indian food. She strongly gives credit to the Portuguese for introducing paneer in the modern form to India.
The end of this episode has a section called Ask Amrita. Any question you ask, recipe-driven, nutrition-driven, food-driven, she answers with great sensitivity and patience. It's 9833 943 943. Easy way to remember it is the last three digits are our frequency, 94.3 Radio 1. So 9833 943 943. Pop in the question along with your name, and we will answer it at the end of the show. Remember, the show itself comes to you on radio and audio form, 8:15 a.m. to 9 a.m. And the video is popped out 24 hours later, the very next day, on Radio 1 International, our YouTube channel. So please give the entire episode also lots and lots of love. So now let's come down to nutritional values of paneer. Everybody knows it's a great source for protein, but what are the kind of numbers and the theories we're talking about?
Rishi, paneer is like gold for vegetarians especially. So sometimes when I meet certain vegetarians and they say, "Main paneer nahi khata hu," yeah, I'm vegan, I really feel bad for them because they're losing out on a really great source of protein, which is almost 86% in paneer. It has all the 9 essential amino acids. So it's really a great source of protein besides calcium. It has great amount of good fats. So I feel paneer, all in all, is a great ingredient to include in everyone's diet. The other reason why I wanted to emphasize on the nutritional value of paneer is because I feel that people are afraid to have paneer because they say it's expensive. Now, even when we talk about the recipe of the week and exactly what I did when I went to Spain, I will tell people how to make paneer at home, which is really so easy. So people find it expensive because you don't really have to go to a store and buy it. In fact, ideally you shouldn't, because it does come with a little preservative. Sometimes they put a little maida or some emulsifiers to give it that little firm texture and structure. So it's very easy to make paneer at home. And you should make paneer at home and consume it a lot more than you do because it's really healthy for us.
Okay, time for the recipe of the day. Now this is already on video form in our Instagram handle at 94.3 Radio 1 India. And it's a collaboration that we've taken from Amrita's handle, which is at Amrita Raichand on Instagram. She shoots it with a lot of love and passion, like they say in Hindi, tabiyat se. And this is shot in her home studio, which is nicely rigged with cameras. So if you want to take a video look at it, that's where you need to go. In terms of pure audio form, what is your recipe of the day? And it's a no-brainer that it's got to have paneer, right?
Yes, of course. And this time there's another little bonus for our Radio 1 listeners. The entire recipe in the very long form will also be available on my YouTube channel, Amrita Raichand Chef and Beyond. So you will have the quick version on Instagram for people with low attention span, and you'll have the nice long format video on my YouTube channel as well. So coming to the recipe of the week. Today we're going to do a paneer cutlet shashlik. How does that sound?
Nice. Lovely.
So when you make fresh paneer, ideally shashlik means in skewers, okay? So it's a shish in skewers. But when you make fresh paneer at home, it takes about an hour or so to set it and really get it that, firm structure. So as I always like to give easy solutions to people. If you don't have that kind of time, you fado the paneer, like they say in Hindi. You curdle the milk and you make your paneer, and immediately you can turn it into cutlets. So you don't really need to wait for too long to set the paneer into a proper solid structure. So we add lots of yummy ingredients like ginger garlic paste, salt, some chilies, and we make a nice cutlet. We grill that cutlet, And then what we do is we make all the other, all the other components that go in a sizzler. And what goes in sizzlers? You can add noodles, you can add rice. I prefer rice, frankly. I do a nice herbed rice where in a pan you saute some garlic and some onions and, throw in some chili flakes and then add boiled rice to it. You get your nice herbed rice. Then you move that out of the way. You saute some vegetables of your choice. Usually in sizzlers we have, carrots and beans. You can add some French fries if you like. I usually avoid it. I usually go for some mashed potatoes. And then what you do is take a sizzler plate, add a couple of leaves of cabbage. First you heat the sizzler plate really hot and then you add the butter to get it smoking. You add all the ingredients. In the end, you add again a little dollop of butter to get that yummy sizzling feel that we all love in a sizzler. But those who don't have a sizzler plate at home, do not worry. You can make the entire thing just in a pan and serve it on a plate. Just what you will miss out is the sizzling effect, the smoke, but you will definitely have a yummy shashlik nevertheless.
Sounds yum-malicious. Now onward to the last segment of the show, which is Ask Amrita. 9833-943-943. All you have to do is pop in your question along with your name and we pick it up. Cecilia. Oh, one of my favorite Simon & Garfunkel songs, Cecilia. Cecilia says, Amrita, I have gluten sensitivity. I know everyone suggests a gluten-free diet is a healthy diet. I'm not a huge fan of the gluten-free diet. Please suggest some healthy but not boring gluten-free dishes that I can try. Love your show, Cecilia.
Hi, Cecilia. I know there's a lot of talk about gluten-free, but I hope you know that gluten only exists in wheat, rye and barley. Everything else is gluten-free. So there is a plethora of dishes that you can actually have which are not boring, which are very healthy, which are very exciting. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you will find loads and loads of recipe. But very recently I shared the sweet potato pizza particularly for our Radio 1 listeners, and you will love that because I can understand when you're talking about gluten, you want to eat the gluten recipes, you want to have that pizza, and since you can't have gluten, this is going to be your amazing bet. So do check out the sweet potato pizza recipe that I have shared, especially for the Radio 1 listeners. It's on my Instagram, it's on Radio 1 Instagram, and you will love that. Hope this will, sort out your cravings for gluten.
Well, now that Amrita is not going anywhere for a while after her ravishing Mykonos and Spain trip, we look forward to welcoming her back next week. Till then, enjoy the full video episode on Radio 1 International, the YouTube channel, and see you next week, 8:15, right here, Mondays, 94.3 Radio 1. Thank you for your time. See you soon.
Thank you for having me, Rishi.
94.3 Radio 1.